I'm Rocky Snyder with Devotion to Motion. Now we're going to talk about the core training. Now you got a lot of people out there talking all about core, and you hear different definitions of core, so I'll give you a little bit of mine. The muscles that wrap around the waist, let's just consider that your core. The muscles that keep your spine stable and still to allow me to get up off the ground or to lift something up over my head. There must be stability through here, or else trouble is going to ensue. So we want to make sure that the muscles that surround our midsection are going to be doing exactly what they should be doing. Being rigid, being super stiff, so that there is protection around my spine as I move through space. That's essentially what core strength is all about. Now, when we first heard about core strength back in the 90s, let's say 10, 15 years ago, there was this huge movement of core strength. And standing on all these unstable surfaces, health clubs started coming out with their ab blast routine, where for half an hour to an hour they would do nothing but all these variations of crunches and just blast your abs. And sure, they may get defined over time and look good, but you are completely missing the point if that's what you're doing. Let's take just the average person. They're sitting all day long. They drive to work. They're at their desk. They're eating dinner. There's at least 12 hours and maybe 8 hours sleeping. So there's not much more than this posture or this posture. But for the most part, when they're fighting gravity, they're like this. Sure, you may get some ergonomic aids to prop you up, but it's like a jello mold. Eventually things start to sag into whatever position you want them to. So we have this posture going on. It's interesting because if I maintain this posture right now, there's not much difference between this posture and this posture, which is really funny because I'm just going to be forcing that posture that much more. The more I do abdominals, the more times I do different exercises, and crunch, 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 we're just pulling ourselves into a big mistake. So how do we recreate a better position for our bodies? Do something about our posture and not bombard the muscles that are already causing us more and more compression, more problems with our lower back. Well, we can rely on a plank exercise. Now, if you're doing planks, kudos to you. You should do more of them. And there's more than just staying still in a plank, but for the sake of argument, let's first start with just a plank. Very isometric or static position where there's no movement. With your arms about shoulder width apart, prop yourself up so that your body is, for the most part, straight. If I were to create a line from my head, down my back, my hips, and heels, they would all be in alignment with each other. They may not be parallel off the ground, but they're all in a straight line with each other. Contract the buttocks if you can. Think about that a little bit, but it should happen almost automatically. And this is the prone plank position. Now my abdominals are like the cables of a suspension bridge right now. The middle of my body wants to sag down toward the ground, but my abdominals have to maintain a contracted state to keep me in the position that I'm desiring. So that's the prone plank position. If you haven't done it, and you don't have any back issues to speak of, give it a shot and try it out. Now, you can do a whole bunch of different movements in the prone plank position, and I'll just show you a few, and then maybe use your own imagination and try and think of some other ones that I haven't shown you already. The prone plank position, once again, maintain that, and then try and lift one leg off the ground. So instead of 4 points of contact, keeping me fairly balanced, now I'm more 3 points, and the tendency is for my body to drop. So my body is able to fight that tendency of rotation or twisting, and keeping me from doing that is requiring a little bit more work. Switching legs or alternating legs. The key here is don't go too fast. Go relatively slow. 1 or 2 seconds up, holding, 1 or 2 seconds down. Because the slower we go, the more active the muscles are going to get. The faster I get, the more my form is going to be sacrificed. So take your time with this. Maybe reach out to the side. Still maintain that nice straight back position.
Or bring your feet apart and reach out with the arm, still maintaining that straight back position. Or maybe one leg in the opposite arm. Now, a good training device would be to get a nice glass of water and place it on the small of your back, nice and balanced. And that'll help you find out if your form is right or not. Or if you don't want to be that cruel to yourself, a clipboard maybe. A small item that may tilt off your back if you find yourself getting out of your form. So some basic plank exercises. Now again, we've been staying in one location, but we can move around with that too. In that plank position, we can rotate up and down, increasing the strength in our shoulders and ability to stabilize. We can go into scapular push-ups, where we start to engage the muscles deep around our thoracic region and across the chest. Take away the arms in a push-up position and rely primarily on the muscles that are surrounding our trunk or thoracic region, the mid-back. So these are just some ideas of push-ups compared to bench press that you may want to consider.